All right, we are back here at the Ball Carrier Podcast. I am Tyler Szynski, the Ball Carrier. This is a one-man crew. I'm carrying the ball in this podcast right now. We got the NFL. We talking the NFL right now. Not a whole lot of news out there, but you know what is fun news? Anytime something is going on at the quarterback position. But there's not a whole lot going on at the quarterback position right now, unless we want to talk about the Vikings signing or re-signing Carson Wentz or the Eagles trading for Andy Dalton. I'm sure there's something there that we can talk about. Perhaps the fact that the Vikings want 2 layers of bufferness between having to play J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, then having to play J.J. It looks like they don't want to play J.J. That's my take on that. There might be a deeper take there, but that's not as fun as what I really want to talk about today. There's not a whole lot of news, so I'm going to make the news. Today we are going to talk about none other than Joe Shiesty Burrow, the Shyster himself. I personally believe this is a fork in the road year for the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. So we're going to dive into that and what that means. This is a fun topic to talk about because Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback, especially when he's healthy. So we're going to figure out what all this means for him, what this is a pivotal year for him and his team and his future. So let's get into it. As of now, NFL free agency has been going on for a little over a week, and the Cincinnati Bengals really haven't made any big news, any splash news that have made the headlines. However, I think this is a big year for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. This is a fork in the road year for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think they need to figure it out this year. They need to have a good season because I can see things either going this way, very good, or this way, very bad. And Joe is going to make a big decision at the end of this year. I think it could get as bad as wanting to leave and get traded somewhere if they don't make the playoffs. Or I think things can go well and everything remain the same. No one gets fired. Joe doesn't want to leave. And everything just stays the same. Obviously, the front office, the head coach, everybody would prefer that decision. But this year is going to be pivotal in that decision making for Joe. Now, obviously, the last few years haven't gone well. He's been hurt a few times. But still, in Joe's mind, things are just starting to seem a little bit redundant. And this is the year, I've mentioned this in previous videos, that the AFC is up for grabs right now. So if there is a year to take the AFC by the horns and try to have some dominance in their division, which I think they totally can, and in the conference in general, which is very possible, this is the year to do it. Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback, and personally, I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are also 2 top 5 receivers. When you have that on your team, you should not be missing the playoffs multiple years. So the defense has obviously let them down in the past, but still the talent on the offensive side of the ball is absolutely ridiculous. So I know Joe's expectations for the team are a lot higher, and he wants to see that come to fruition. So this is going to be a big year, 2026. He's been in the league. This is going to be his seventh year. So I want to talk about both the positive and the negative side of what this season can mean for them. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about just let's go through each year for Joe Burrow so far, because when he got drafted in 2020 and he tore his ACL that year, I believe the offensive line was absolute shit. So they got a lot of flack for that. Then they retooled there. Come back in 2021. Go beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship. Go to the Super Bowl and play the Rams. They had a chance to win the Super Bowl in Joe Burrow's second year. So that had to be a good feeling. They had some momentum off of that. Go back to the playoffs the following season, beat the Bills in the divisional round, lose to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of teams do that. A lot of the best quarterbacks do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the following year, 2023, wrist injury, out for the season. I believe it's the whole season. The whole season he gets hurt. He's out for the season. Missed the playoffs, right? 2024 misses the playoffs, and I believe this is the same year where he played the full season this year, 2024. He played the full season. I believe this is the year where they had that game against the Ravens where they both scored like 40 points. I think it went to overtime too, and it was just an absolute rocket show in terms of just putting up points, throwing the ball. Just that was cinema right there. That was great football. Not defensively, but offensively, it was great. Like Joe was him, and Lamar Jackson was him and Thee. Like it was just. But I think the Bengals lost both of those games. Both of the games combined, I think the Bengals had scored like 80 points. And they lost both games. I could be fact-checked on that. I might be wrong. But I know they lost at least one. But still, the point is they missed the playoffs that year. So that was a disappointment for them for sure. Played the full season, missed the playoffs. I know they didn't expect that. And then this year, coming into this year, sign T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, both to extensions, and it extended their contracts, and then you missed the playoffs this year because Joe Burrow gets hurt, has turf toe, needs surgery, comes back, almost makes the playoffs, but doesn't. I know Joe has got to be very disappointed in his self, but also just the team. It's like, can somebody in Joe's mind, do I have to be Superman all the time? All the time. Does it have to be me? Please, can I get some help somewhere? And I will admit, the front office did help him out by keeping both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Big respect to that. But defensively, they were bad. They were bad. I was looking, the total defense, they ranked 31st in the league. That's awful. That's awful. Ranking 31st. So they need to do something to help him out there. But that's been his career so far. So, and then, hold on. Let's back up for a second. 2024, they ranked 6th in points per game. They were ranked 6 points per game. Couldn't make the playoffs. Could not make the playoffs. Disappointment. That's a disappointing year. And this year, they have fired Lou Anarumo, which I think he's a good defensive coordinator. He always gave the Chiefs a run for their money for sure. For sure. And they get rid of him. They bring in Al Golden, and now their defense is 31st. Now, part of that could be because Joe was hurt big portion of the season. You don't have your starting quarterback. You're probably not on the field as long as you should be. The defense is having more reps than they probably should be. So the other offense gets multiple chances to score, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So they rank 31st. Now, if Joe can stay healthy, this can be a good year for him. And that's what I want to dive into first. I want to dive into the positive side of this. So let's say Joe stays healthy for the whole year. No injuries. He's healthy. Right, wide receivers stay healthy. All his weapons are available to him. And they have a good year. They make the playoffs. They win a playoff game. They get to the divisional rounds or the AFC Championship or further. I think this year will be a massive success for the Bengals, and it will be a glimpse into the future as far as what they believe they can continue to do moving forward. Because, like I said, Joe Burrow's top 5, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they top 5. These type of weapons. I think that the Bengals are also going all in. Now, there hasn't been any big free agency news about the Bengals, but they made some legit signings in free agency so far. They signed Boye Mafe from the Seahawks, just won a Super Bowl. They signed Brian Cooks, safety, from the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Then they signed Jonathan Taylor, D tackle from the Vikings, who coached up by Brian Flores. And that the Vikings could have been a good team if they had some decent quarterback play. So Jonathan Allen, he was part of a great defensive unit over with the Vikings and an overall good team. So they signed some good pieces to their defense. So I think this is a sign of them taking things serious, going kind of all in. I would say they would for sure be going all in if they had signed Trey Hendrickson. But when you sign T. Higgins making almost $30 million a year, when you sign Jamar Chase making over $40 million a year, and then Joe Burrow making over $50 million a year, those are huge cap hits. So I understand not being able to sign Trey Hendrickson to a huge contract like he got with the Ravens. So I do understand that. So signing some of these veteran guys who have been part of winning teams, winning programs, and being coached up by good defense coordinators, I think these are as close as you can get to all-in moves, proving that you are trying to help out that side of the ball, which was 31st last season. 31st last season. So those were respectable moves, and they have the 10th pick in the draft. So I expect that they will also probably draft a defensive player with that pick and add to the defense, because they need to prove to Joe that they are trying. They have a record. The Bengals have a history of being cheap and not doing what they need to do to support the team fully. Partly why Joe got towards ACL his first year with the team. But I think that's their pattern, that's their history. That's the pattern they have in their history. So I think these are some respectable moves, and this will allow them to possibly take their division. Their division is, the AFC as a whole is up for grabs, but their division, play the Browns. Their defense is solid, but they got a new head coach. They don't have a quarterback. The Steelers don't have a quarterback yet. They have a new head coach. The Ravens got a new head coach. Like they every other team has a new head coach. The Bengals are the only one with some sort of continuity going on, and they need to take advantage of that. The Bengals, to me, are primed to have a big season this year. If Joe Burrow continues to play the way that he has been playing the last few years, which there's no reason to believe that he's not going to keep doing that, then they are going to make a run. They may come out of nowhere. I don't think anybody is expecting them to do great things. No one is putting them in their betting favorites to be going to the Super Bowl, but I think they might be a little bit of a dark horse right now. And I think in their own minds, they have that expectation for themselves. Like, let's do this. Like, it's time to quit playing around. Everyone stay locked in, stay healthy, take care of your body, and let's go win a fucking playoff game. That's what they want. That's what needs to happen. Because the talent that they have they got talent. And their production has been very underwhelming in terms of their record and in terms of getting to the playoffs. It's only so long you can keep riding off of beating Mahomes and Josh Allen in the playoffs. That's like 3-4 years ago. It's time to do something now. It's time to do something today. So I like Joe Shiesty. I like Jamar Chase. I like T. Higgins. I like some of the free agency moves that they made. I think things are more likely to go like this, positively, than they are to go like this. But it is possible that they go like this. They go this way, because they have been for the last couple years. In 2024, Joe played every single game. He played every single game, and they still missed the playoffs. I think it was every single game. Or if he missed the game, it might have been a game, something like that. Now, if they do miss the playoffs, or even if they make the playoffs and lose first round, there is going to be a change. And I looked this up. Zach Taylor is under contract through 2027. So this year, 2026, and next year, 2027. Joe Burrow is under contract until 2029. So this year and then like 3 more years. So if things go this way, if things do not go well for the Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor will be fired. And or Joe Burrow will be on another team in 2027. I think that's less likely. If they get to the playoffs and lose, I think Joe stays. Zach Taylor gets fired for sure. If they do not make the playoffs, I think Zach Taylor gets fired and Joe Burrow asked to leave, asked to get traded. That's what will happen. I don't know if he will get traded. I believe the Bengals have a reputation. That's the word I was thinking of earlier, trying to think of earlier was reputation. The Bengals have a reputation for saying, nah, we don't give a damn. You gonna play with us. We paying you. You under contract. You gonna play for us. So Joe Burrow doesn't have a lot of negotiation power, especially since he's under contract for the next 3 years. It's not like he's gonna be going into a contract year. And even then, they could still like franchise him, which that would be painful. That would be just slice me open. If I'm staying with shitty Bengals and continue to be shitty Bengals, and you guys just want to hold me hostage, just cut my head off. However, if they don't make the playoffs, Zach Taylor will be fired, and Joe will ask to be traded. Most likely, that's most likely what will happen. But because of all the moves that I mentioned earlier of them, like the talent on the team, the preparation that they made to the defensive side, like this is the year to do it. And if you just can't do it, this is a sign to Joe that this just isn't gonna work. This is not working out for us. So where he is in his career and where the Bengals are currently, it's just not meshing. So more than likely he will want to leave. If he stays and they go through a quarterback search, Joe's gonna be heavily involved in that quarterback search. And I think there's only 2 coaches that could possibly he could be okay with coming into the building. I don't think he would be okay with just some random offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator coming in and taking the reins. It's like, no, I want someone that has a reputation for winning games and who knows what they're doing. So if Zach Taylor gets fired, they will bring in either Mike Tomlin or Sean McDermott. Those are the 2 coaches that I could see coming in and taking this thing over and probably dominating this division. I could see that happening. And what a turn of events was if, like, for either one of those guys, Mike Tomlin or Sean McDermott coming in. Who wouldn't want to coach Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins? It's like you already got the offensive side figured out. Let me just figure out this defensive shit, and we gonna be all right. That's gonna be their mindset coming in. So get ready for that, because I think that's going to happen if Zach Taylor gets fired. Because I just don't see how Joe would be okay with bringing in someone like Brian Daboll or Brian Flores or something like that. Like I know they're good coordinators, right? But they don't have a reputation of winning as head coaches. Mike Tomlin and Sean McDermott do. And both of those guys, they're taking a season off, And I think this is the job. This is the head coaching job that they are keeping their eye on for next year. Come back and take this one over. That would be incredible. That'd be an incredible move. I would love to see that. Honestly, I'm rooting for that to happen because I don't know. Even if the Bengals get to the playoffs and make a run, I'm not sure Zach Taylor is that guy. Is he that guy, pal? Is he that guy? I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy to ultimately get it done, get back to the Super Bowl and win a championship. I think Sean McDermott could do it. I think Mike Tomlin could do it. And I think Joe Burrow would want that. So that's the avenue that I see both of those are the two potential options for the Bengals this season. And the sliver of a chance that Joe Burrow asked for a trade and the Bengals are willing to do it, there are a few places that I think he could land. However, I'm going to make a separate episode about that on where some possibilities are that Joe Burrow could go if the Bengals are willing to trade him. Some of these options might seem like fantasy land. Nevertheless, I think they are options, and teams would give up a lot to get Joe Burrow. So that would be a very interesting scenario to go through. I'm going to drop that video tomorrow. Let me know about this fork in the road thing. What do you think the Bengals are? What do you think the options are for the Bengals? Do you think they're going to have a good season? Do you think they're going to have a bad season? Do you think that, if they have a bad season, who do you think they're going to bring in head coach? Who knows? Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'll talk to y'all later.